Hi, everybody. Let's give everyone a couple of seconds. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Like, yeah. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. How's everyone's day? Sorry, I'm going to be eating a little bit. The movie me for a loop. Rory's first movie. I got 1,000 steps. I don't think that's how it's supposed to work. Okay. All right. Okay. So with the poll that we took this week, it was close between mindset and social life, but social life won. So we can always do mindset next week. But I made a little PowerPoint again so you guys could see.
Can you say how Steph is doing? Did she
Oh,
have the
yeah, sorry.
baby?
Yes, she had a little baby girl, 6 pounds, 15 ounces, um, C-section scheduled. Her name is Martina Palma and then Greenie. So her family wants to call the baby Tina. I want to call the baby Marty because I think that would be so cute. So I'm referring to her as Marty McFly. So Marty McFly is doing good. Steph is doing good. Um, she's a warrior. She's like, this is not as bad as the first time. So we'll see. But everyone's good. So almost 2 pounds smaller than her son. So she's like loving holding a little guy, well, a little girl. Part of me thought that you would possibly jump in on this, but I guess not. Um, okay, so you guys can see my screen, right? Okay. Okay, so social life and health. Now, a lot of this is going to kind of just be like my preference because in reality, right, if you are really working towards a goal, especially in a cut, your social life doesn't, well, your social life doesn't have to falter, but like eating out and drinking does. Um, but I want to promote fun and I'm a big believer in experiences, right? And moments over macros. So a lot of this is going to be just like tricks that I've learned, that I've listened to on podcasts that I feel like have worked for me, how I navigate it. And I mean, I'm not like, the most social person in the world, but I go out, I know I have plans every once in a while. So it's not like I'm a hermit, right? I know how to navigate. Um, Okay. So, first thing, right? It is 1000% possible to have a social life and count macros, right? Like if we want memories, right? Life is about creating experiences. I don't really know the meaning of life, but all I do know is that you want to create experiences. So we never want to miss out on things because of our diet, if they're important to us, right? We have to constantly look at our priorities. So it is definitely 100% possible to count your macros, have a social life, and enjoy your moments. Like, you can't tell me that every single person that counts their macros doesn't leave their house, right? There are some serious social butterflies that do this just fine. And they found their balance. So, um, it doesn't necessarily mean though that you can continue doing what you've been doing, right? If you're going out 5 nights a week to dinner, getting drinks, this, that, you don't miss any invitation, that's not really realistic, right? That's going to have to slow down a little bit. Again, you can go to these things, but the eating out is going to have to slow down because, again, we all know that it's very hard to track things that we don't cook, right? So it doesn't mean that you can't have your cake and eat it too completely, right? You can't have this great social life, eating and drinking all the time. And I mean, I guess you can have it and count your macros, but you're probably not going to hit them and you're probably not going to see the changes that you want. Okay. Another thing is you can't blame a social life on this, right? A lot of times people who are like interested in coaching but don't sign up, it's because they have too many plans or they're on the go too much. And that's an excuse, right? Like we have people in this group that have 5+ kids that own their own businesses and have work dinners at like fancy restaurants like 5 nights a week. People can do it, right? You can't blame your social life on the lack of success. It's if you do, it's really just an excuse because you don't want to change and you don't really want it that bad, right? So your social life can never be the excuse for this not working, because at the end of the day, you can pick not to do these things. Okay. Again, just priorities. Um, okay. So I found this visual that I thought was really helpful, right? If we're in, we can do this in two ways. If you're in a diet, right, and you eat, your maintenance is 2,300 calories. And again, for my newbies, this might sound a little crazy, but let's say I tell you they eat 2,300 calories a day. So when you want to diet, you're going to eat 1,800 calories a day, a nice 500 calorie deficit. You kick butt on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday. Okay. You go a little rogue on Friday, a little rogue on Saturday, but then you kick butt on Sunday. Guess what? You're back at maintenance. Okay. So these 2 days, when I know they don't seem like a lot, and you're like, but I was so good 5 out of 7 days a week, it can make a major impact. Again, especially because we probably underestimate what we eat and drink when we go out. Okay. So again, not saying you can't enjoy things every once in a while, but if you're in a diet, 2 nights a week of reckless, eating can really make a difference. It can also make a difference, right? If you're eating at maintenance. So if you're one of my gals in maintenance and you're eating 2,300 calories every day, you're nailing your macros, you nail your macros 6 days a week. On Saturday, you go over by 500 calories. That adds up week in and week out. And eventually that's a pound that you maybe put on, right? So again, not saying that you have to be perfect 7 out of 7 days a week, but the consistency is very key. And we have to plan for it, right? You can't just walk into a social event blind because it's not going to go well. You can absolutely go out to eat, you can absolutely go to weddings, girls' night, happy hours, but you have to plan for them. Okay. And no one, unless people have shotgun weddings here, things are coming up. Okay. For the most part, your plans at least a day in ahead. And if you don't, I'm going to say later, you have to kind of guess that they're coming. So here are some guidelines, right? We want to eat less than 3 meals out a week. That's including takeout and that's including, dinners out, because it is very hard to know what goes in meals when we take out. Even if it's basic, even if you order grilled chicken with broccoli from the pizzeria, you don't know if they use butter in that broccoli. You don't know if they used oil, how many ounces maybe that chicken was, what kind of seasonings were on it, was the broccoli with something else, right? It's just, you're not going to be off by a ton, but you're going to not be accurate. Okay. And again, accuracy is key. So the less we eat out, the better. We all know that. Is it going to be 0? Probably not. Maybe some weeks it will. But less than 3 is the goal. You are going to have to sacrifice something, right? No one signed up for this and thinking that they're going to continue doing the same exact thing they've been doing, or else you wouldn't be asking for help or guidance, right? Some things you're going to have to say no to. You might have to pass on the bread bowl. You might not have to drink at a happy hour. You may have to say no to a random coworker's invite to her 4th of July party, right? Some things you're just going to have to pass on, right? So the I can't make it is actually a very powerful sentence in this. And if people give you a hard time, you probably don't even want to be going anyway. I know it's, again, probably hard to understand that you're going to have to say no to things. But again, if this is a priority, if you want to look in the mirror and be proud of what you see, you have to sacrifice other things. Okay. And that's that. All right, so you guys know I'm big on planning. So every Thursday is when I always recommend that you guys look at the week ahead. So in 2 days, when I sit down and make my recipes that I send you guys and I plan my grocery, I look at the week ahead of plans. All right, so like this week, right? Tomorrow is Rustin's birthday. We're going to the diner, his request. Um, Saturday, our families are coming over for a party. Okay. Sunday, I have my babysitter's 19th birthday. So I have and it's a street fair, right? So I have 3 events this week that are, more than normal. So you have to look at those because then you're going to start to plan around them. If you don't look at them and you don't see what's coming up, you're not going to be able to balance your calories. Okay. And if you have nothing on your calendar, just assume at least 2 things are going to pop up. Something on Friday, a lunch, a breakfast, a dinner, a happy hour, something's going to come up. Just think in your head, plan for it, plan B. Okay? So always look ahead, see what days you might want to alter your calories or alter your meals on. And again, walking into the week blind isn't going to really be helpful. Right? So, how to navigate a dinner out. I did 2 different things. I did like a nice sit down dinner and then I did like an event where it's not so structured. So, a dinner out, you for sure want to look at the menu ahead of time, right? Look at the menu. Every single place has a menu online. Um, you want to pick things that are grilled, baked, um, or not baked in cheese, but just like baked, raw, right? For fish, we want to stay away from cream sauces. We want to stay away from things that are fried. We want to stay away from dishes that have like 74 ingredients in them because they're even harder to log, right? You want to look at dishes and maybe figure out alterations you can ask for. Ooh, I love chicken parm. Maybe I can just have it grilled with some cheese. Or, I love this pasta dish, but it has a cream sauce. Maybe I can get it in, marinara sauce or something. Okay, think about things that you can alter to make things easier. Right? So again, preparation beforehand is fine. And don't seem like you're not weird. Even people who don't count their macros look at menus ahead of time. Okay? So you definitely want to look at the meal. All right. The next thing. Now, this is more preference, right? You can't expect to go out to dinner and eat your normal breakfast, eat your normal lunch, eat your normal snack, and then go out to dinner. You're gonna be over. There's no way your out to dinner calories are gonna be the same as your home dinner calories. It's just not gonna be no matter what. And you don't also want to be on edge. I think you want to create a buffer, right? If you know you're going out to dinner, let's leave a bigger amount of calories just so you feel safe, right? So what I do, and what I think you guys know this a little bit, is I always push back my eating window, right? So tomorrow is Rustin's birthday. We're going out to the diner. I'm gonna cut, so it's a little bit different. I would usually eat around like 9 o'clock. Tomorrow, I'm gonna save my first meal till like noon because I'm going to combine my lunch and my breakfast and then save calories for the diner, right? You want to make a very, very large protein based first meal. Um, you want to get your steps in. You want to keep moving. You want to get your workout in if that's what you do. And I'm a big fan of having like coffee or decaf too to kind of like help with the hunger, right? Caffeine is a natural hunger suppressant. Not saying we should just drink loads of coffee to not feel hungry, but on days that you might have to push back your eating or combine your breakfast and lunch so you can have more room for dinner or go a longer window without eating to save calories, coffee sometimes is a good one, right? So that's what I do in the morning. So the day of an event, you have to sacrifice something, and it's usually one of your breakfast or lunch. You want to try and combine that so you can have like double the calories for that event. Okay. You also want to focus on your protein. When you have that big meal, you don't want it to be all carbs and fat, right? You would not have um like a bacon, egg, and cheese because when you go out, the carbs and the fats are easily rung up. So you want to stick with a big protein meal. One, it'll satiate you longer. Two, protein's the most important macros. We want to make sure we get that in. And again, carbs and fats are going to be coming in when you go out. Okay, so big protein based meals. Then you get to the restaurant. Obviously, right, you want to pass on the bread bowl. I know some breads are way more tempting than others. There are certain places where I'm not going to pass on the bread bowl. I'm going to have one. That's just how it is. I save my carbs for that reason. If you're not really a big fan, don't just have it to be social, right? Don't ask for it. You don't need it. Save it. If you're drinking, right, always order a water with your alcoholic drink so you can, like, have both. When you're just thirsty, you're not guzzling your wine. Now, your wine is there for enjoyment, not because you had, a salty fry and you need it. Okay, so always have um some other drink on the side. um Enjoy your meal. Don't sit there and stress. Don't sit there and think you're losing all your progress. It's one meal. Enjoy it. It would really suck to go out to dinner, do all this work, and pick something that you don't even like because you're so nervous to gain weight, right? That would be the worst of both worlds. Enjoy it. Um, if possible, and this might be weird, but if you go to like dinner in a town or a village, when you're done, go for like a 10-15 minute walk with whoever you're with, the long way to the car or something. Walking after you eat is huge for digestion and insulin levels, right? And it just makes you feel good. Um, I do this every time I eat lunch. I go for a quick walk after. Sometimes I have to do it after dinner's out because I physically can't sit in the car because I'm so full, but that's not what we want to get to either. Um, and again, dessert, weigh it out. Are you more of a dessert person? Then maybe order like a smaller dinner. If desserts don't really tempt you, just skip it, right? We don't want to eat 400 calories of a dessert that was just right? If something on the menu is screaming at you and you're like, oh my God, I love this, eat it. If you're like, yeah, I guess that's fine, don't get it, right? It's not worth it. Or split something, right? But if you really want it, absolutely eat it. But again, if it's nothing that's gonna like you're gonna rave about tomorrow, don't waste it. Go home and have some ice cream or something. Right. All right. So now we're gonna think about like events, like things that don't necessarily have um a menu or like a plan. You're going to be there for a longer time, something like, like a party, a night out, anything like that. Um, Once again, push back your eating window. The 2 weeks ago, when I went out to like a fancy steakhouse for my birthday, I didn't eat until we went to dinner. Okay. Now, some people that would not work. I'm okay with fasting. It doesn't bother me. I'd rather that. But like I waited till 5 o'clock to eat. I had a protein bar and that was it because I knew that I was going to eat a lot at dinner. So if that's something that doesn't bother you and you're okay with fasting, do it. One, a fast every once in a while is great for you. And now you're going to have 2,000 calories to eat at dinner. Most of us can't eat 2,000 calories in one sitting. Me, Mindy, Jamie. Yes, we can eat 2,000 calories in one sitting, especially at a steakhouse. Um, but most of you guys will get full before that and you'll be fine. So once again, push back that eating window, have a protein meal or bowl or something, but that's it, right? Sacrifice a meal. Once again, get your steps in, get your water in, get your workout in. Be normal. Think about the event. You don't want to walk into the event blind. You know something about it, right? If it's an engagement, a cocktail party, there's going to be a lot of finger foods. If it's like a girls' night where everyone's bringing food, it's going to be a potluck. Again, a lot of food. Is it a wedding? Is there going to be an actual dinner? Okay. Is it a night out at the bar where you're just kind of like, going to drink and possibly order food? You need some sort of mental plan. Walking in and just winging it is probably going to make you just say F it and eat whatever you want. Okay. So think about a plan. It's better than nothing. You don't need to write it down, but it should be something in your head. All right. Now I have a lot on this one. These are a lot of things that work well for me. Until I got my dentures, right? My teeth, I used to bring gum. Okay. You pop gum in your mouth. You're not really going to eat. You might take it out if something looks really good, but keep it in. I always say, and again, if you're not a drinker, this can kind of vary, but you're going to want to pick food or booze. And I'm not saying you can't eat, right? But you can't really go hard in both. You can't go to a cocktail party and have, 47 margaritas and eat everything in sight, right? Something has to give. Be like, all right, tonight I'll have a glass of wine, but I'm going to enjoy the food. Or, okay, tonight I'm going to eat before I go, or I'm going to pick on a couple of things, but I'm going to have some drinks. right? It kind of has to be one or the other. Both is just going to be a lot of calories. Okay. And a lot of you guys, if including myself, if we're drinking and we also are eating, we're going to eat more, right? So you kind of want to decide what path you're going down with that, food or booze. If you're not a drinker, you just want to monitor the food. A big thing is you want to remove yourself from the area with the food, right? You want to put physical boundaries in between you and the cocktail party or, the kitchen table with all the food on it. I get that people always gravitate towards that, and that's where like people usually talk, but try and stand further away or go into another room with friends or sit on a couch somewhere else. So you aren't just hovering over the food and mindlessly eating, right? Put a physical boundary in between you and wherever the food is. So you have to make like a couple of conscious decisions to go eat that. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to walk across the room. I'm going to do this and get the food. Okay. And if you break all those, then you know what? Nothing was stopping you anyway. Right. So you want to put things in the way. Um, right? We don't want to stand over the kitchen islands and just talk to our friends and eat because that's just calories that you don't even know what in your mouth, right? Try and do something. Put a drink in your hand. Okay. If you have a drink in your hand, you're not going to get a plate with a fork. If you have a drink in your hand, you're going to only be able to eat stuff with one hand, which I know we can eat a lot of, but again, it slows us down. It makes options a little smaller. Um, if it's just like a cocktail party or you're going out for happy hour, eat before you go. Sometimes this backfires. This backfires with me, which I learned, right? I'll have a full meal before I go, thinking that I won't eat when I get there, and then I'll have a full meal there. So I just get double. So I decide not to have, but like if you are better, and some people are, like she's not on here, but one of our clients, right? Business owner, a ton of work dinners. She's eating before she goes now, and she's actually not eating at the work dinner, or she's just like, socializing. That's great. Um, so eat before you go if you can, willpower not. Don't order like a meal out when you're if you're out for like a happy hour. I'm sure someone else will. You're gonna end up snacking on someone's food. Just pick off of theirs, right? Throw them some money at the end. But don't order like your own dish if you had food already. Booze, we want to stick with liquors that with 0 calorie mixers. Beers are a killer. They're just high in calories, and super bloaty. Wine is okay, liquor is okay. No frozen drinks, and no, I know the specialty drinks are great. Maybe start with one, but no matter how skinny or clean they are, there's a ton of sugar in there. So maybe have one of those and then stick to simple. Vodka soda, tequila soda, bourbon, whiskey. You want to do something that's more bang for your buck, if that doesn't sound too like alcoholic, right? um if two whiskeys neat are gonna have you feeling nice and what you want compared to 12 beers, right? You pick that. So do something that's a little bit higher in volume, again, if that's your plan. The biggest thing with drinking, right, is the late night eating. Do all you can to not stop at a fast food place. Don't go home and raid the cabinets. And that's hard. I know that because most of the time, right, you're trying not to eat when you're out drinking, so you get home and you're hungry. Go to bed, brush your teeth, or open something that you can eat a lot of that's not going to be detrimental. Like a big thing for me is like I'll have skinny pop if I like, come home and I'm starving because at the end of the day, I'm gonna throw back 150 calories of that, maybe. Not the end of the world compared to Taco Bell, right, on my birthday, where I probably threw back like 1,200 calories. So try not to late night eat. That's the killer with drinking. Okay, it's the mindless eating that we do after. And then most important, log it. Don't ghost these nights because you have to log the bad. If you are just logging the days that you're tracking and on point, you're gonna look great. Your numbers are going to be on point. The averages are going to be great. And it's going to be fake. We're going to be living in a fake world of data. So even if you go back and you just guess, right? MyFitnessPal has everything under the sun in it. Just guess, 1 pigs in a blanket, you know, 4 quiches, just throw it in there, right? The next morning when you're sitting on the couch, just guess. even if it's not accurate at all, it's better than nothing. So put it in, right? Um, Willpower is hard, right? So you, again, that's why saying yes or no is, you might want to just pass on events. You're going to have some willpower, right? Like if you're putting yourself in a scenario where there's just ample food and ample alcohol, that's when willpower is going to come. And I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but you can't just be a glutton. You also don't want to wake up the next morning and slash the 3 tires, right? So you slashed your 1 tire on Saturday night. Do not get up on Sunday and say, "Oh my God, I had the worst night ever. I'm hungover. I'm getting a bacon, egg, and cheese and Chinese food." That's where we start to really go downhill, right? Everyone can have a night here and there where they enjoy themselves, they go out to eat. But if we say F it, get angry at ourselves, regret it, and then don't log, don't go to the grocery store, don't meal prep, so now we're screwed for the week, that's the real decision that kills us. It's not the social event, it's the aftermath. It's the fact that you threw your Sunday out the window and didn't prep yourself for the week, right? It's also big that we have to acknowledge what we did. You have to own it. You can't be like, "I don't understand why I'm not hitting my goals." Well, you're eating 2,400 calories on the weekends when your goal is 1,700 calories. Um, and I'm all for having fun, but you have to take ownership in it. It slows down progress. It's just inevitable. But if you make that decision, you don't bitch about it, you don't ask me why it's not, like, why we're not losing weight, I have answers for you. Um, and then the other days have to be super consistent. You can't go out on Friday and Saturday night and also have off Tuesdays and off Thursdays and some off Sundays, right? If you are going to go out, if you're not giving up your social life, if you're going to have fun on Friday and Saturday nights, your Sunday, your Monday, your Tuesday, your Wednesday, your Thursday have to be 100% consistent, right? I did like some silly math where if you're at 100% for 5 days out of the week and then you go out and you're 50%, you're still 86% consistent, which is fine, right? We want 85 and above. But if your Sunday is Monday's good, Tuesday's okay, Wednesday's a little bit better, but then Thursday goes down a little bit, and then Friday and Saturday are both 50, you're dropping that consistency immensely. So it is okay to have a social life, but then the other days have to be very, very on point. If you don't have a social life, your other days can be a little bit more free. Okay, but that's probably no one here. Everyone here is doing something at some point during the week. Okay, so I know that was just a lot of me talking and probably things that you guys kind of knew, kind of heard, but planning ahead, not letting it mess up the rest of your week, and really diving into the consistency the other days are probably the biggest like keys. But that's it from me. All right. And don't get so sad at yourself. Like you chose to do whatever event this was. I'm sure you had fun. Again, just get up the next morning, get your steps in, get your water in, grocery shop. All right. Don't be sad, sit on the couch all day and eat chips because again, that's going to put you in a deeper hole than this event ever did. Any questions on social events? No.
I have one.
Okay.
You said like actually I don't even remember what you said. No, I wrote down the question. Like, oh, you said saving the calories, so eating one protein bar if you could and then going out. I probably wouldn't be able to do that, so I'd eat like more than just a protein bar
Yeah.
and save those calories. But I've done that, but found that I then go out at 8 o'clock and I'm not even close to my calorie number. What am I supposed to come home and then eat or stay way under?
So like even after you went out, you didn't come close to your calories?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably like a planning issue too, right? So you're a little bit different because you're a young buck, right? And your nights out probably look a little bit different. But if you're gonna go out, and I know you're not like a wild woman, and you're like, I'm probably not gonna have like, a glass or two of wine or something, and then you can eat more. Like if you're going out to, Morgan Wallen, you're on the train, you're doing this, that's a day that I would save as many calories as possible. Right. So you're going to kind of have to judge what kind of event is this. Right. So like for Rustin's birthday tomorrow, we're going to the diner. I'm not slamming back beers at the diner. It's going to be a dinner that I'm going to have, and I'm going to make a good choice. So I'm still going to eat tomorrow a good amount, right? I'm still gonna probably go to the diner with overeating 1,000 calories. I'll save like 800 for the diner. But on Friday, it's Cinco de Mayo and we got a babysitter, right? So that's when the margaritas might happen. So maybe I'll leave a lot of calories for that. You kind of have to decide what kind of night or day it's going to be and then pick from there. And no, like, you know what? At the end of the day, if you come home, don't shove your face full of food. Maybe, maybe have another quick source of protein, like, but you don't have to like hit your like, again, it's better to be under than to be over.
Okay.
So. And there are days too where you don't need to log, right? I said log, but like there's holidays like Christmas, you don't need to go back and log on Christmas. Your birthday, you don't need to go back. And like there are days, yes, you can take off from tracking, but it can't be every Friday. It can't be Friday and Saturday. It can't be a 4-day bender, right? Like, of course, there are days where you just mentally, you know what, I'm not putting food in. That's fine every once in a while, but it can't be a weekly thing. That really messes it up. And I know for me, I would rather see something, right? Like even if I'm going out, I'm going to maybe log as I go just to kind of keep myself in check a little bit. If I don't see any kind of numbers, I can go down a black hole with food, right? I can probably have a 5,000 calorie day and not think much of it. So I keep myself in check by logging kind of as I go or the next morning just to see how much damage I did. So I'm not like shocked when the scale is up 3 pounds, right? So I do it just for myself. But again, there are days when you don't need to log, but it can't be a weekly thing.
What do people do on vacation, CJ?
I have both actually. Majority of my gals right now, a lot of people on vacation right now, are not logging. Completely fine. They go rogue for a week. It's almost better because I know that whole week is gone then. Like I'm just gonna assume it's crap. If you don't log like one day, then we have numbers, but the numbers aren't accurate. I'd almost rather a 0 than untrue numbers. So if you're going on vacation, I think it's up to you. I would log probably just because I like to keep myself in track. One of our clients right now is down for only 4 days. She's a logger. She's going to track. She didn't bring her food scale, but she's still going to guess and put her food in. Anne, who's in the Bahamas or wherever that amazing place is, she's not logging. And that's all okay. Vacation is different. Again, unless you go on vacation like once a month, then it's a little bit different. Then we got to figure something out. But hopefully no one's doing that with, trying to lose weight and stuff. But vacation, I would feel like would be a free pass. But you still want to focus on water and steps and protein-based meals. So like maybe logging like your big meals, but not your snacks, something like that. Anyone else?
During your cut, do you tend to stay away more from alcohol?
I'm not done.
Do you go more food based?
I do, but I haven't been a good example because 2 weeks ago I had wine on Saturday, and then at Great Wolf I had some high noons. So, I mean, it's 1 day a week of under 3 drinks, and I'm in a pretty significant cut, so that's what also helps me, right? Like I'm in a 650 calorie cut, so I have a little bit more room, right, than someone that's only down in a 400 calorie cut. So, all right, Lori. Yeah. So I should, but I'm also not in a spot, and you're probably gonna be the same way, where I'm like desperate to lose weight. I'm in this cut just because I haven't tried in a while. I would love to lose like, 2% body fat or something small. So I'm events or moments right now over macros. I'm okay if this cut takes me a little bit longer or if I don't get the crazy results that I need because I'm okay with my body at maintenance. So that's why like I chose to have those high noons because I'm not actually like, I don't really have like a goal weight or anything right now. I'm just kind of just seeing what happens. So again, it's all kind of about what stage you're into, if that makes sense. Anything else?
Yes, Theo.
Theo, you have
Um,
a question?
Yes. You always say like have protein. Like I feel like I should know this, but I don't. Why do we focus so much on like our protein intake, regardless like when you're in a cut or in maintenance? And especially like if you're doing like a social event, you would probably want to like eat more protein. Like stay away from the bread, but have a piece of grilled chicken.
Just because protein is one, the most satiating, and it does the most for us. And because it's a lot easier to find carbs and fats when you're out, right? So when you sit down to dinner, most of the places you go to eat, the carb and fats are going to be very consistent on the menu. Also, alcohol are carbs and fats. So we want to get our protein in at home just because it's going to be a lot easier to eat carbs and fats when we're out.
Gotcha.
So that's why I always say get your protein in, because if your carbs are super low, have a glass of wine. If your carbs are super low, have the bread, you know? You can't necessarily like just pick on grilled chicken if you're out.
Sorry. He's faking it. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So thank you, CJ.
Of course. Hi, Theo. You're so cute. I'm going to try and make my first balloon arch tonight. Me and Tom are going to end up fighting each other. Ay.
Good luck. Kevin's outside mowing the lawn.
It's dark out.
Boys will be boys.
Yeah. Anyone else have any questions? I don't know whoever asked the Q&A question. That was like a serious good question. Like in-depth thinking. I was impressed. It was about training. They even used the word hypertrophy. Jamie
Oh, that was mine.
I knew it.
I
I freaking knew it. I was like, who asked this? It was impressive. Hold on, I'll tell everyone it was. And then I guess we can wrap it up. Oh no, that's where was this? Tuesday. Zoom. No, didn't work. Oh. Okay. Jamie's question. Oh, there's two. Okay. Rep ranges you use. Do you subscribe to the 6 to 8 for hypertrophy? What's your range for small versus large muscle groups? She's such a workout snot. Okay, so yes, I'm a big believer in hypertrophy. I do like 6 to 12. Once you hit that, so if any of you guys are doing lifts and you're getting to rep 12, the next set, go up in weight. You should not be getting to number 13 or unless it says to 15, because some smaller group muscles at the end, the accessory is 12 to 15. That's fine. But if you're hitting the end of the rep range that I recommend, move on to weight. I don't care if that means you get 6 the next time.
CJ, when you say accessory, what do you mean by accessory?
So usually the first 3 movements in your workout day are your compound lifts. So your squats, your deadlifts, your bent over rows, your cable rows, your bench press. Like those are bigger body movements. So those are called compound because it takes your legs, it takes your core, it takes multiple aspects of you. Then after those 2 or 3, the other movements are smaller. They're accessory. They're to help those compound movements. So if you have hamstring curls, that's an accessory movement. You're sitting on a machine. You're really only using your hamstring, but those are there to help you with your deadlifts eventually, with your squats, with those. So those are accessory. I don't think anyone has more than 3 compounds. Then the rest are accessory. Usually the compound lifts are 6 to 10 rep range, usually 6 to 8. And then the accessory ones are between 8 to 15 reps. But if you get to the higher end of those reps, do not go to 16. Do not go to 13 if it's 12. Next round, pick up a heavier weight, right? We don't want you doing 20. We want you doing heavier.
But
Okay, so if I do my compounds, I'm like, if I get to like 8 to 10, I'm like, I need to go up on weight. So that's okay, right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I want to try to go higher. So I'm like my heavier lifts, I'll do like 5 to 6.
That's fine.
Okay.
CJ, once I get past two dumbbells that are like if I'm doing something with 225s, while I might be able to physically hold, I can't hold more than 220.
Did you buy the Versa grips yet?
I did not because my son made fun of me.
I just said I was a fan of him. I take it back.
Yeah,
Um,
you don't need those things. Yeah.
Tell him you can't hold it. And tell him mom doesn't need a nut crusher to work on her grip. We're over that. Get the
You can
Versa grips.
heavier than 225s if you have those Versa grips.
Oh, I'm not even kidding, Mindy. You're gonna like be like, I hold 80-pound dumbbells with those.
Shut up.
I swear to God. I swear. They make such a difference. I was holding them wrong. I was putting them on wrong for 2 weeks, so I thought they were trash. And I was like, this is the worst thing ever. Once I figured out how to put them on, whole new ball game. Who has them here? No one has them here right now? Right, Jamie? You're
Like
muted.
for any sort of like deadlift movements too, when I'm pulling heavy weights, it makes it so much easier.
It's unbelievable. It makes the weight
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
lighter.
Like nothing. And you can actually use the muscle that it's intended to do rather than work on your grip.
Yes. It's key. I use them for upper too. Like now I use them on my my lat pulls because Aram called me out. I was holding the lat pull so hard so it wouldn't slip out of my hands that I was blowing up my biceps, not my back. Now that I can use those, I barely grip it and I can pull completely with my back. They're freaking good. I'll send
Okay.
the link. Also, let me know what exercises too, and then maybe we can always like go to a barbell if you feel okay with that. But I would definitely get the Versa grips.
Okay.
And supposedly they last years. So we'll see. I'm a big fan. So this other question, I'll just answer it. It's more about eating. Recipes calling for butter, cheese, cream. Should you just pick healthier options rather than, like, yeah, most of us don't have crazy high fat numbers. I know I have a hard time hitting fat, so I actually try and put some butter in my food because I stink at hitting fat. I think it's just years of thinking that fat was bad for you. But for the most part, I'd stay away. They're also like, there are so many options, right? Low fat cheeses taste great. Yesterday I made a cream spinach with Laughing Cow cheese. It was delicious. Not even close to what like a real would be. But yeah, I would just stick with simpler options, use the spray. Olive oil is good, it's a good fat. Just be careful. It's a lot of fat. So if you only have like 9 grams of fat left for dinner, night stuff, 1 teaspoon or tablespoon of olive oil is going to be like 9. Oh, I think that's actually right. 9 grams of fat alone. So just be wary of that. Almond milk is a good substitute. Again, low fat cheeses. There's low fat cream cheese. Again, the Laughing Cow cheese is a great substitute. I think it's delicious. Cottage cheese. For all my cottage cheese haters. There's foods with low sugar, and again, natural sugar is fine. I don't care if you have 1,000 grams of natural sugar. It's the added sugar that we don't want, like fruits and vegetables and all that. Brown sugar's okay. Did you add brown sugar, or is that like in your food? There's a brand.
Yeah, I put it in my coffee. Like the sugar in the raw.
Okay.
Is that, what are your thoughts on that? Like,
What is the calorie count on that?
oh, shoot, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
So just look at that. I don't think Swerve.
Oh, what's that? Swerve.
Oh, I forgot you guys can see my screen. I'm like typing it to you. Swerve is a 0-calorie replacement, and I use it it's used a lot in baking. They have brown, they have all the kinds of sugars. They have brown, confectious, granular, all that. You can buy it on Amazon. It's not the cheapest, but if you put it in your coffee and like it, I would definitely invest in a bag.
Oh, thank you so much. Good to know.
Of course,
Okay.
of course. Lauren Fit Foodie, I send her dinner recipes sometimes. She's big with baking. She uses Swerve in all of her baking stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good
Yeah.
to know.
It's not as good as sugar, but whatever.
DJ, which Versa grips did you get? It seems like there's all different styles,
One moment.
like Extreme, Pro.
I got these, the pink ones.
Do they say what they are? Are they the Pro, the Classic? I'm on the Versa
Pro,
grip.
Pro Authentic.
Okay.
And then I guess measure your wrist. I don't know if I did that, but
Okay.
they're good. And then put them on, videotape yourself putting them on and see if you get them wrong like I did.
Do they have instructions? How'd you figure it out?
I saw a reel
A reel is like some-
Instagram thing that was like,
I
you're
gotcha.
wearing your Versa grips wrong. I was like, oh, good to know. It's been 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't like, you put the, like if you're holding it, you put the grip like around it. You don't put it on your hand. The
Do you
bar,
keep it on the whole workout? Like just it's just sit.
I like if I'm using it for dumbbell deadlifts, I'll keep it on the whole set, but I take them on and off. So
It's a
they're
lot
better
of-
than gloves. If anyone wears gloves, I'm not making fun of you, but I am making fun of you a little bit. So tell your son he can make fun of people that wear gloves, but not grips. We're cooler.
I will tell him that.
And Jess, if you hear this, because I know you're going to listen later, I know you wear gloves, so I'm making fun of you. All right. Does anyone have any events this weekend that they are nervous for, or
I do.
what do you got?
My stepmom's 60th party.
Okay, is it at like a restaurant or what?
No, it's at their house, but it's like a big, like 60s themed party dinner.
What time?
I do in just a second. 6:30.
All right, so maybe have like, are you good with fasting or no? Like, can you push off food or no?
It
Are you
depends
big
on. I definitely have to like wake up and eat food.
Okay, so wake up. And eat.
Yeah.
Do you drink coffee?
Yes. What I was gonna say, you mentioned something about like the people who don't like cottage cheese. I
Yeah.
found recently that if I blend it in, it sounds disgusting, but if I put it in my cold brew coffee and my protein shake and blend it, it makes my like shake super creamy and you can't even taste it.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Share that with the group.
Who's what? That's he's pointing to your picture, Stephanie. That's Stephanie. That's who, he says, who's that?
You'll be
So
fine.
anyways.
You're a good navigator. I don't feel like you're oh, I mean, you seem to know, but I would put maybe have your breakfast, wait to have your coffee until after your breakfast to like kind of and sip on it slowly, and then have like a proteiny based lunch at like 2:30, and then
Yeah.
enjoy.
And see how it goes.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that's all.
All right. Anyone else? All right. So it won't be until next Thursday. We'll go back. But-
Sorry, I had one. I just can't
Oh.
get myself off mute.
Oh, I hear you now.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So not so much going out, but more like the summer beach trips. I'm definitely more out than winter.
Yeah.
So for usually like going to the beach and stuff, my family, like we go to the deli, we get a sandwich for the day, stuff like that. So like my go-to is usually like cold cuts and a lettuce wrap. And like, is that considered eating out?
Technically, yeah, just because you're not making it.
Mm.
Summer is a little bit different, right? I'm going to do a whole entire thing on like how to navigate barbecue, summer plans. This is when we start to mess with our macros a little bit, right? In the summer, we definitely can do a little bit of a cycle with macros. Like some days, if you know you don't have plans, I might cut your macros to like 1,200.
Okay.
Other days when you know you have barbecues and stuff, you give a little bit more grace. So in the summer, we can learn how to calorie cycle a little bit. I do it It's not the best way to be, but for 2 months, it's a smart decision. So you don't end up hating life because you're counting calories. You don't end up like really missing out, and you don't end up putting on weight. So it's like a different way to maintain when summer happens. The best thing would be like to bring your food to the beach. If you can make your own sandwich, then it's not eating out. You can
Right.
weigh your cold cuts. Even grilled chicken is better because no matter how low sodium cold cuts are, they're high in sodium, right? So you like just want to stay away from that. I mean, I eat them, but even though deli sandwiches are so damn good, but bringing it yourself would be ideal. As much as you want to probably bring snacks, pick like things that you can eat volume of, like thin Triscuits are a great one. They have fiber, right? They're yummy. They're not just chips. So
Mm.
I'll definitely do like a whole entire like thing on like a Zoom on that with like beach snacks, how to navigate, how to how to cycle your calories. And then anyone who thinks that that would help them in the summer, I can set you, because on MyFitnessPal you can do like certain days of hitting macros, but we can work on that like individual too.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Anything else? All right. Everyone have a super good night. Hopefully I'm alive by tomorrow and Tom didn't kill me or I didn't kill him with the balloon. And that's about it.
Happy birthday, Weston.
Thanks. He's 4. I kept the kid alive till he's 4. Holy moly.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Everyone have a really nice night. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Good
Good night.
night.